Top 10 Unluckiest People Who Ever Lived. If you think the day you got ditched by someone you love, laughed at in classroom, or discovered that Santa Claus is NT real, was the worst of your life, you have NT seen nothing compared to these 10 unluckiest people who ever lived. They will make you feel like the luckiest person on the planet. They've even suffered things equivalent of getting kicked in the balls by a kangaroo in China. Number 10. Kostas Mitsotakis. Entire village won the lottery, except for this guy in 2012. A small village in Spain consists of 250 people, mostly poor farmers, won a ticket in lotteries, huge prize of $950 million. That jackpot was a big deal for the poor and unemployed villagers. Each person received at least $130,000. But one unlucky man named Kostas Mitsotakis was left out from the list. Everyone won the lottery, but him, however, he took that very sportingly and cheered everyone for being happier than ever before. Number 9. Anne Hodgeson. November 30, 1954. Anne Hodges was having a nice quiet nap in her home at Alabama, USA, when a freaking meteorite fell from the sky right on her and badly bruised a large portion of her body. She is the only known person ever been injured by an extraterrestrial object. Can you even imagine the odds needed for that? It's like 1 in billions. Number 8. Stoma Yamaguchi. This guy was present on both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. At the time of bombing, Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on business for his employer, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, when the city was bombed at 8:15 a.m. on August 6, 1945. After surviving atomic bomb, with a couple of scratches on his body, he decided to return his hometown Nagasaki. But the day he went to work, America dropped another bomb, this time on Nagasaki. People on internet calling him unlucky. I say this guy is the luckiest person ever lived. He survived the nuclear attack, twice only person to do so. Number 7. Robert Todd Lincoln. He was with 3 U.S. presidents when they were assassinated. Robert Todd Lincoln, the son of highly celebrated U.S. President Abraham Lincoln, is perhaps the most unlucky person to have around, especially if you're a president. He has been with 3 U.S. presidents at the time of their assassination. The night when John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln, Robert Todd was with him. By 1881, Lincoln became a lawyer that qualified him for a national office, and he became Secretary of War under the newly inaugurated James A. Garfield. That July, Lincoln was scheduled to travel with the president by the train. But the trip never took off before Lincoln and Garfield's train could leave the station. A guy named Charles Guiteau shot the president, but it didn't end there. 2 decades later, his bad luck returned to kill another president. This time, the victim was President William McKinley, although Lincoln was technically with him at the time of assassination, but was on his way to meet McKinley when anarchist Leon Czolgosz shot the president twice at close range. Number 6. Violet Jessop. She was present on 3 sinking ships. This woman was present on 2 of the most disastrous ships sinking in the history. She survived both RMS Titanic and HMHS Britannic wreckage in 1912 and 1916, respectively. Not only that, she was on board RMS Olympic when it collided with a British warship in 1911, she lived long after that and died at the age of 84 due to congestive heart failure in 1971. Number 5. Jason and Jenny Cairns Lawrence. They were present in cities of 3 major terrorist attacks. Jason and Jerry Lawrence, an English couple, have some truly bad memories from their vacations. The couple took the trip to New York and were present there at the time of 9/11, which certainly is worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil. After witnessing such a horrific event, they probably decided to never go back to New York for vacation in 2005. They decided to take trip to London, and London Underground suicide attack took place, which is the worst in their history. But it didn't stop there. In 2008, they went on trip again, this time in Mumbai again. Terrorist attack followed on November 26, 2008, which led to deaths of about 160 people, which is the worst terrorist attack in the history of India. We just hope that these 2 king and queen of bad luck never take another trip to any other city. Number 4. Frane Seelick escaped death 7 times in January 1962. Seelick was traveling by train from Sarajevo to Dubrovnik. Train smashed into Ice River, killing all 17 passengers except him. He escaped from it with minor scrapes and bruises. The following year, he was traveling with aeroplane, and suddenly the door blew away from the cockpit, forcing him out of the plane. Although 19 people were killed, he suffered only minor injuries and somehow landed in a haystack in 1966. He survived a bus crash in 1970. He managed to escape from his car, covered in flames, due to faulty pump. In 1995 he was hit by a city bus. In 1996, he drove off a cliff to escape an oncoming truck, then landed on a tree and watched his car exploding 300 feet below him. But after surviving all these terrible accidents, he won $1 million in the Croatian lottery, which is why he could be seen as one of luckiest and unluckiest man on the planet. Number 3. Roy Sullivan, stuck by lightning 7 times. This is the guy named Roy Sullivan, the myth, the legend. Between 1942 and 1977, Sullivan was hit by lightning on 7 different occasions and survived all of them. He is recognized by Guinness World Records as the person struck by lightning more recorded times than any other human being. But he was thankful to God for sparing his life. 7 times he shot himself on the head in 1983 at the age of 71. Number 2. Jeanne Rogers, unluckiest woman. She has suffered pretty much everything. Jeanne Rogers is clearly one of the unluckiest people who ever lived. She once fell out from a ship into water, struck by lightning, twice attacked by a bat, beaten by her husband, almost to the death, attacked by muggers. After surviving these accidents, Rogers were asked if she's feared of accidental deaths. She simply replied, "Dying doesn't scare me, but living scares the crap out of me."
Number 1. John Lyne, Britain's unluckiest man, escaped 16 fatal accidents. John Lyne is known as one of the unluckiest people in the world. He has survived 16 accidents that would normally kill the person. He has been hit by lightning, ran over by delivery van, hit by a bus, nearly drowned to death, propelled by a catapult smashing 8 of his teeth, several car crashes and roll over by rock in a mine. But this guy has survived all these fatal accidents like a boss.